Good afternoon. This is get this out the way. Underrated boxing talk, the darkness round table. Let's get it in. Gonna invite some people, talk about boxing, and all. So anyway, welcome to my channel, the Underrated Darkness. Make sure the bell is lit, so you be the first one get. I come for a powerful live stream of video. Make sure go to the description box. Check out the description. Go to the description box. Check out the links and also my hashtags. Greatly appreciated. Also, share this stream. Very important. Share this stream. And check out the work that I did in the past. Make sure you get the likes up. Underrated one, the grinder. Chef JT, not just chefing in the kitchen. I be chefing up information. The grinder reaper. Respect my existence. Here it is. So we wait for some more people to come in. Waiting some more people to come. I'll be right back, family. Waiting for waiting for some more people to come in. What up, Kurt?
Underrated, what's going on with you?
I'm good with you. I'm good with you. I sent a link out to Retro. Do you have his email? I think I have it. I'm not sure.
I don't think so. He might be at his brother's house. You could send it, see if he gets on or whatever.
Oh, okay. All right.
You should. There's another brother I want you to meet. He has his own channel, Stormy B Man.
Okay.
Matter of fact,
Yeah,
I'm
plug
gonna,
it in.
I'm gonna text him.
Yeah, do that.
Let me 1 second.
Yeah. See.
Yeah, I'm texting him.
Uh,
He can put his email in the chat. He can just go on your channel, and he's from Chicago, man. I want you to meet him because he has a lot of knowledge when it comes to boxing.
it's all good. That's what I like.
Plus, music too.
Okay.
He's in our age group. He's 52, same age as me.
Okay. Okay. Oh, Lowe's Punch Out. Okay. Lowe's, put your email in the chat so I can get you on. Put your email in the chat because I don't have it. Yeah. Boss, put your email in the chat so I can get you on. What's going on, Silks? Yeah, I'm trying to hit a scrapbook too.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
The scrapbook. I'm sending a link. I'm sending it to his phone. So how you feel, bro?
So, man, I'm all right. I took some insulin, but I'll be all right, though. You know, other than that, everything is good. Wife get ready to go to work, you know, making me something to eat. I was watching a basketball game, you know. I was laying down when I heard the phone ring when you were sending the hangouts.
Okay. Welcome, family, to the Underrated Darkness Show. We're just trying to get things working here. In a few minutes, we're going to try to get some people on so we could break down some boxing and the fights, you know, from last night. Maybe we might talk about music. I don't know, but we'll deal with boxing. So, okay. Los, put your email in the chat. Storm B, man. Thanks for coming. I got you. Just give me some time. I'm going to hook you up. Okay, Los. Welcome. Okay. Okay, Stormy B, man. Watch out for your link. We'll send it right now. And Los, I'm going to get you next. That's the sugar, Kurt the Sugar. That's it. That's who he is on. All right, Stormy B, man, watch out for your link. I'm sending it right now. Just come to the panel. Lost Dawkins, you next. Stormy B, man, watch out for your link. Mexican fight fan, Welcome. Lost Dawkins, you next. You go on mute your mic, Kurt.
Well, give me a few minutes. I'm cooking. I ain't want the noise be in the background. Give me a few minutes.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, I'm here, brother. What's happening?
Oh, I got the stormy one. I got the stormy. How you feel, Vic? How you feel?
I'm doing good, brothers. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing all right, man. We're gonna talk about this boxing thing in a few, man. But welcome, finally, welcome to the Underrated Darkness chat. Greatly chat. Trap House Boxing, send your link. Welcome, welcome, brother. Send your link right now. What's up, homie? You down? Send your link. Get those.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good, man. It's another day of being able to have something to be proud of and to stand tall. I mean, after last night, we can talk about it, man. We can talk about it.
Oh yeah, we gonna talk about it. Underrated knows boxing too. Don't sleep. We'll let you know too.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Don't tell nobody. Don't let me stop. All right, I got you, Trap House. Just give me some time to put this out. Lost Dog. Lost Dawkins, and I'm gonna get you, Trap House. Oh, this is gonna be a full panel. They're like, you underrated? Yeah, you're underrated. Oh, snap, you know? Yeah. Let's see.
Hey, as you guys are getting everybody ready, man, I just got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Have you been checking out my channel and how I've been trying to put the content out there about a little bit of everything? I'm not just focusing on certain weights or whatever, but I've been blending in, almost covering almost whatever's to be covered.
Yeah,
And,
I check it out a little bit, and I like your channel.
Well, the thing of it is like what I'm trying to do is just, fill in the gaps. You know what I mean? It's like, because sometimes when people get a little bit of tired of hearing about the usual suspects, so to speak, there's always a little something else to, strike into. So that's where I'm trying to find my little niche,
Okay. Well, over here I do different things. So I do a little music, I do a little this, I do a little that. So
yeah,
you cool over here. I don't do just, you know.
yeah, and I understand and I respect. That's why I got, you're already in my subscriptions. I have you in there, and I've got a couple other brothers in there that it's funny because I like to be able to get on at any time just to listen to something that's going on, and the way you guys are working it, somebody's on almost all the time, so that's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost like a 24/7 Turner Network television network or something, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it in, bro. Trust me. Trap House, Lost Dawkins, I got you. So, I'm trying to do my thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I know people like, yo, no way, I don't see you in the boxing. I be, all the body snatchers, get out of here. Y'all coming through for a brother, make a brother cry. Let me see, Trap House. Okay, Trap House, guys. Okay. All right. So how's your day?
Man, the day is beautiful. Coming in off of that victory last night, oh my goodness. I slept like a baby, man.
Yeah.
I don't think people actually really realize the significance of what was achieved last night.
Nah, I don't think so either. But we're gonna cover that in a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't understand, especially us as a people. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They don't understand the real significance of that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's why, I know you want to have everybody in place and everything before we really get to cooking on it. But I just
No,
kind of wanted to say that.
Go ahead and say it. Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
I just wanted to say that piece because, I've been around for a while and I've seen a few things happen, just like Kurt. And what I saw last night, I had done a pre-fight video breakdown, and the only questions that I had about the fight, because my pick was correct and everything, but the only questions that I had technically in my video breakdown, man, Clarissa Shields, she solved those issues in her performance last night, which had never been done in any of her prior fights. So it was almost like a person stepping up to bat and then hitting the ball out the park. So it was like, I'm cool now. It's like, I have had that same scenario with other fighters in different events, and some people have risen, some people have failed, and some people have just kind of like showed up, And last night, with the performance that she put on, she went to another level.
Stormy, what up, man?
Hey, what's up, Kirk? How you doing, man?
Good, man. I had to get something to eat, man. Took some insulin, man. And I was laid down, and my wife made me something to eat. I'm eating hamburger patties, and she just made it up. So I had to settle down. I'm relaxed now, sitting in my living room. It's good to this platform. I'm so happy where we can come from different states, man, as brothers and talk boxing, man. And I'm glad you are here because I want you to get in tight with Underrated. The dude know music like no other, man, and he's the boxing head too. And Underrated Stormy B, man, he's a boxing scholar, man. So it's good that y'all two is getting to know each other. I'm very happy.
I'm happy for it too. I'm not stingy. I'm not stingy, brother. Story, man.
Oh, definitely, and neither am I. Kirk could tell you about me and how open that I am with what I'm trying to do. The only thing is that if a person is about BS, they ain't gonna stick around because I deal with truth. It's not even about opinion or my own likes. We all have our individual likes, but I do like to keep facts.
Yeah. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me cut your trap house. I seen you the link, brother. See you the link. Watch out for it. Long talking. How you feel, brother? Welcome.
Hello, JT.
Yeah, what's good? This is my UK. This is my UK family from the LDBC. Oh, snap! Crab House got into the act. Oh, there's gonna be some things now. What's up, Trap House?
Bro, can you hear me?
Yeah, okay. What's up, Trap? I ain't heard you in a while, bro.
Oh man, I'm just chilling, man. Just sitting back watching the fight, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trap House, what's going on, brother? Respect to you.
What's good, bro? Who is this I'm speaking with?
That's Stormy B, man.
Oh, what's good, Stormy B?
I'm doing good.
Yeah,
Good.
doing
Boss
good.
D out there too.
Hello, V-Man. Hello, Curtis. Hello, Trap.
Hey,
What's going on, man?
Oh, good, thank you.
Oh, we got Lost Pimpin' in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh? JMJ, if you want to get on, feel free. Shout out to the LDBC, that stands for Lions Den Boxing Community Also, basketball community. We not just talk about boxing. We talk about other sports too. And then we do interview basketball players. We do interview actually boxing. We also interview, on the phone, especially outward, and we do stream them. So we are out here. We are the media. We are the true media. Remember that. LDBC. So let me introduce you to the brothers. And each brother that I've introduced you, I want y'all to tell a little something about yourself. The Sugar, tell about yourself, please.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Curtis Anderson. I'm better known as Kurt Sugar. I'm an astute boxing historian. I can talk about music or movies or anything. I'm very versatile, 52 years of age. I'm from Newark, New Jersey, and you can catch me on World Breaker Fighting, 2:30 Eastern, Monday through Fridays. And I'm going to start doing my own show under the World Breaker banner, World Breaker Fighting banner, called Kurt Sugar versus the World. You know what I mean? So that's mostly Tuesday and Thursday nights.
Okay. All right. So that's the Sugar. And then people say, "Oh, he looks familiar." This is his 5th time that he been on the platform. We don't talk about music most time. We talk about boxing. So keep on looking out for him. All right, Lost Dawkins, introduce yourself, please.
Hello, name's Lost Dawkins. 43 years old. I'm from the UK, Staffordshire. Love boxing. Love following the LDBC and all the different channels what are in there. And I like music, and I'm pretty open to any conversation.
Okay, thank you. All right, Stormy B Man, introduce yourself, please. Well, okay, we get back to him. Trap Hop Boxer, introduce yourself, please.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm Trap House Boxer, man. 38 years old, born in Oklahoma, but been back and forth all my life from Oklahoma to Florida. So you can call me the Oakland Floridian if you like, or whatever you choose to do. But I do have a platform. It's called Trap House Boxing, and I can talk about whatever you want to talk about: rap, history, boxing, sports, life, whatever. I just choose to have a boxing platform, but I do have another platform as well, which is called Geeky TV. So okay. I will be doing more videos on that soon. So stay tuned for that. So go subscribe to Trap House Boxing. I'll provide all the information on that other stuff later.
All right. Okay. All right. On Stormy B Man, you here? You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I had my mic on mute, so I wasn't making no noise while people.
Okay, so introduce yourself. Introduce yourself to the people, please.
All right, I'm Stormy B Man. My first name is Brian, and I am on the channel as a newcomer. As of like January, I started my own channel, and I'm 52 years old myself. I'm almost like a mirror reflection of Kurt. We talked behind the scenes, and we found out that we have so much in common. It's like we Siamese twins or something, even down to a couple of personal things in our lives. It's like it's amazing. But I'm out of the shy, and my initial experience with boxing goes back to my childhood. My old man boxed in the amateurs, and my entire background about boxing is I trained and coached amateur fighters here in the Chi, out of the Park District here, and I've worked with some pros as well. And I just have a a genuine love for the sport. I also have a love for music. I also have a love for movies. I'm kind of like that cultural guy. I like music, movies. I like books. Um, but my favorite sport is the sport of boxing, and I have a tremendous insight when it comes to boxing and how to break fighters down, styles, and things like that. So that's where I make my hay.
All right. Okay. Thanks for being here. Don't let it be the last time you come, brother.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. My pleasure. JMJ, introduce yourself, please, to the fam.
Hello, chat. Hello, panel. My name is JMJ2121. You know, 42 years old, military, vet. You know, I like boxing myself, but I like boxing when I was younger too. You know what I'm saying? I saw the Tyson Mendes Lewis fight, which is kind of made me mad over here. You know, when he lost with that with that confrontation or something like that. But salute to the LDBC because they put me back in boxing, man. If it wasn't for the LDBC, man, I wouldn't be in the boxing. I'm gonna tell you one thing too. Who won't particular TV? I would have met y'all brothers, sisters on the panel on the live chat, man. So other than that, man, y'all brothers, y'all do y'all thing. To the Stormy B man, to the Curtis Andersons, to the trap houses. Salute to you, trap house, to the LDBC man. Even though you don't get on or do your video, I might have missed it, but I'm gonna catch some replays and all that good stuff. Bro. But salute to y'all, Underrated, Mr. Underrated, man. I'm just proud of you, bro.
Thank you.
I'm just proud of y'all. I'm just proud of y'all for doing this for us, for this black people. You know what I'm saying? So we can chop it up. I said, what the world? Chop it up. I said, y'all talking. I said to myself, what the world? Chop it up.
Mm-hmm.
Talking. So that man, if it was, man, it's a salute to y'all brothers and sisters, the live chat, the panel, and all that other good stuff, man. I like music myself, man. I like music myself, man. And other sports topics, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Thank you. Before I continue, I do have PayPal and I do have it do I have a PayPal account and I also have a super chat. So anybody that wants to donate, feel free. If you don't have it, at least hit the like button. All right. Welcome, Betty White. Welcome everybody here. Again, shout out to the LDBC. Now, any fight before we get to the main fight. If there's any fights that y'all want to talk about it first before we get to the main fight.
Well, we can go over the last night fights. We can talk about how bad Jaime Munguia looked. He got a Christmas gift in April. And we can talk about, and a couple other fights that happened last night.
Yeah, do that. Let's do it. All right, set it off then, Kurt.
Hey,
all right, well.
Hold,
Kurt. What you get ready to say, Trap?
Oh, I said especially the heavyweight fight.
All right, yeah, we can do that. We gonna cover all fights before we hit the one of the main one. So set it up, Kirk. Which fight do you want to talk up first, and then we go down the line.
Okay, I want to talk about the Jaime Munguia versus Dennis Hogan fight that happened in Monterrey, Mexico. It was a junior middleweight fight. Munguia was the favorite, overwhelming favorite. He was a 20-1 favorite, and he looked like a 20-1 underdog. He clearly lost that fight. boxing always had its favoritism. You know, I knew Dennis Hogan wasn't going to get the decision because the fight was in Monterrey, Mexico. So when the fight was over, I was sitting there just looking, and when they was taking long to tally up them scores, I said, "Oh, he's not getting it for sure." You know, they fixed those scorecards, man. By the way, you know, to make it fit the narrative. You know, and he knew the team, they wasn't excited because they knew they was going to get robbed. So it was more like impending doom for the Hogans. You know, he had like 4 cornermen, and you could see their faces, you know, but the crowd of Mexico, you know, they kind of knew, but they still rooted for their man. You know, Murguia makes a lot of mistakes, man, you know, and it's not about being green. That's a misconception. It's about his style. He don't want to get better, or he can't fight a certain way, you know, with rhythmic and perpetual motion. He's a power puncher, and that's it. And he's getting away with it because of his size. But as soon as he step up and fight a Hurd or Charlo or Harrison or whoever, you know, they're going to beat him, man. He needs another trainer. You know, he throws long punches. He leaves himself wide open, man. That's why when they match make him, they put him against people with 15 wins and 3 or 4 knockouts. I know it's a trend, but anyway, Murguia lost that fight. I had Hogan winning 115, 113. It was a majority decision, and it's just the politics in boxing.
Yeah, and I want to get my insight on that after everybody. Lost Dawkins, have you seen the fight?
No, I didn't see any. The only boxing I saw this weekend, brother, was the Crawler Lomachenko fight.
Oh, okay. So we get back to you, Stormy B.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Have you seen the fight?
I didn't see the Murguia fight last night, but I've seen him fight in the past, and it's not surprising to me at all that he has run across some difficulty, because I saw the limitations in him even when he had beat the what's my man's name, the small welterweight guy he beat up,
Saddam Ali.
Yeah, Ali. Because I could see the way that they had matched him against him, and I was like, the only thing that's pulling him through in this fight is his size and strength advantage that he had over Ali, and Ali didn't have. He wasn't able to take the physicality of the fight, and I hate to see matches like that, because Ali is a better fighter than he looked in that fight, and it made Murguia look like he had some kind of potential or something. But just based on the assessments of what I've heard of the fights, and I've heard more people than just Kurt talk about it. I've heard last night, even when I was on air, there were some people on my chat talking about his performance, and he should have lost and everything. He's a very, very limited guy. If you remember a fighter from the past, Yuri Boy Campos, he was the same.
Yeah,
you know, he was a guy with a big old punch, but he couldn't fight. And then they matched him up against a bunch of guys that he could knock stiff. But if anybody could fight back or take a shot, he was in a world-beating fight, you know? And Felix Trinidad beat the crap out of the guy.
Yes, he did.
You know, but that's exactly who Yuri Boy Campos was. And this kid right here, he's just a younger version. He's a little taller, but he's easy pickings for any of the guys that have titles or that are in the top 3 or 4 in the division. Easy pickings.
That's good. All right, cool. I'll wait till I get my asses on that. Let me see. Trap House Boxing.
Yo.
You haven't seen the fight, or you gonna wait till you break down the heavyweight?
No. I've seen the fight. Go ahead, bro. Murguia, I thought he lost the fight, man. I had the same score as Kurt Sugar. I had a 7-5 for Dennis Hogan, man. I thought that the early movement was giving Murguia trouble, you know, and too much movement for my liking. But McGuire was able to slow him down with the body shot. He was landing body shots like towards like the third or fourth round. Then they started making with some man named Hogan a stationary target, and that's when McGill was able to get off. But even when he was getting off, Hogan was still catching, every single time when McGill was getting off. So it wasn't like the rounds was close towards the middle. But I gave Hogan like the first 2 rounds. I gave McGill like the third to like the 7th, and I gave Hogan like the last the rest of the back end round. Yeah, whatever it was, I had 7-5. But McGill, to me, man, I don't want to hear all this talk about Canelo and Triple G and all this. To me, McGuire just ain't that good, man. I just hate to say it, he ain't that good. I tried to like him, but I think he got a lot of work at 154 to clear up. And there's a lot of guys over there at the PBC side that beat him, but I don't think Oscar De La Hoya is going to feed him to them boys over there. Because I'm going to tell you something. And somebody said the top 3 at 154. I'm gonna go down to the Lubins and the J-Rock that would give him pure hell and buck around and beat him. That's what I think about Hamid McGuire. And I didn't understand the whole point of how he let the smaller guy implement his game plan off rip. He chasing the smaller guy around instead of he letting the smaller guy chase him around. I didn't understand that. And then, he wasn't big as he is, he wasn't using his jab at all. No head movement. Defense just piss poor. And just horrible. So, I mean, I could see McGill getting knocked out in the future. You know what I mean? Not knocked out, getting hurt real bad, man. Just his style. He got like a reckless abandoned type of style, but that's pretty much what I thought on that. I don't think he got the power to be dealing with no guys at 160 and all that. I just don't see it. Even though maybe he could be a better puncher at 160, but I doubt it because I don't even see him being all that much of a hell of a puncher at 154, and he getting hurt by a guy with 7 knockouts. Hogan ain't even no puncher.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was hitting him, he was wobbling McGill all over the place. I'm talking about slapping him around the ring. The impact on the punches was different. You could see it in the fight. I had Hogan winning the fight, man, but that's pretty much it, though.
Okay. JMJ, have you seen that fight last night in Mexico?
No, sir, I did not.
Okay.
Okay, I got you.
Well, I said for me that Hogan had to knock him out, and I know that of the history of Mexico, like Kirk was saying, they was taking a long time. I know he was gonna get screwed, but I don't see no improvement of him. You think about it, they set him up a bunch of stiffs, bunch of ones that they know they can't really punch back, so he could bunch of dummies. And he's winning. So, but I don't see no improvement of him. I really don't. I don't know how he get the hype, but he's right now. No, I just don't see it. Now, all right, next fight on the card. You can go ahead, Kurt.
Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah, I can talk. I want to bring up there was a very interesting heavyweight fight between Rydell Booker and Jermaine Franklin. I believe they both out of Michigan. Jermaine Franklin is an up and comer, good power. Was fighting Rydell Booker. Now Rydell Booker is a very interesting character because he has a huge boxing background. He fought James Toney. He lost a decision. He used to spar with Lennox Lewis and Tommy Hearns. I always said the Midwest had the best fighters, man. They just built differently. I remember real quick off topic that they came to Newark and out of 15 bouts, they won like 13. They cleaned us out, man. Ohio, it wasn't no joke. you know. But anyway, getting back to the fight, it could have went either way. A draw. They gave it to Franklin. Booker could have won. You know, some people says they had it right, but I could have said a draw. I would have been happy with that. Booker is slick, but he served like 12 to 15 years in prison. I think it was assault, something like that. But you can see he has talent, but he messed up his career, just like Tony Ayala, by being in prison. You're not the same. It doesn't work like that in boxing. It was a good scrap, good fight, man. They got tired in the second half of the fight, but it was one of the more entertaining fights this weekend.
Okay. All right. Stormy Man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, on that fight between Booker and Franklin, I was really looking at the flaws that Franklin had, because you basically are looking at the younger guy who is the one that they are kind of touting here. And during his like pre-fight profile, they were saying that, oh, he wants to be the new face of the division and everything. Well, if he wants to be the new face of the division, they need to pull the curtain down on him right now. Because first of all, how you 24, 25 years old with love handles? Huh? And they said going into the fight that he was 14 pounds heavier than his last fight. So he was in there last night at 240 something, 245, 246 or something like that. But he's supposed to be a prospect, and he putting on weight. He's not getting in better shape. He getting in worse shape. And he was getting hit by a guy that didn't have the power to put his lights out, but had enough, you know, for respectability. And I swear, if you could paint dots on his face every time that Booker was landed, you wouldn't be able to see any details on his face because the dots would cover everything up. The guy was getting hit, man, and he had no defense at all. He's a strong guy with physical. He has a physicality, but I really question his IQ, right, what's happening with him upstairs, and I definitely know that what's inside is not the stuff of real prospects that you're looking at. So he was a guy that was able to fill a card last night, but I expect his lights to be turned out pretty soon.
Okay, that's what's up. All right, Trap House.
Yeah, man, I've been waiting for this one right here. All right, man. So I thought Jermaine Franklin lost that fight, man. I had Booker win the fight, but I'll go for a draw. I'll go for a draw. But to me, man, I just thought that the 30-year-old guy, he looked way better, man, way more effective shot. But I want to double back on something real quick before I get into that with Sugar was talking about earlier about the prison sentence and all that.
Yeah.
He got caught with a whole bunch of cocaine, man, like 35 pounds, they say, of cocaine. So he did a nice little bid, but a lot of, and he had a good little amateur background, like 300 fights, over 300 fights, amateur background, and spawned like Lennox Lewis, who else it was, the Cobra, Hitman Hearn, lost to James Toney in the split decision right before he did his bid. So the cat got some pedigree, you understand what I'm saying? But I just thought that Jermaine Franklin, he's gonna be an okay fighter. But if they trying to put they stock into him, man, I don't know, man. He gonna have to get some defense ASAP because he gonna get hurt bad if my man Booker would have sat down on his punches a little bit harder or had a little bit of pop, he could have got Jermaine Franklin up out of there, man. Like Jermaine Franklin was, yeah, he was the more busier guy and all that coming forward, but he was getting caught in between shots. Booker was punching with him every time, even when he would had a little bit of success. Booker was countering right back. You understand what I'm saying? So I mean, I had Booker winning. To be honest with you, I had Booker winning like 8-2, 7-3. Man, they gave Franklin credit for just coming forward, but Booker was catching all the shots and rolling and flipping them and countering in between. I mean, Franklin wasn't effective at all. The only thing is that Booker, he didn't have the rounds up under his belt to be able to, sustain, that type of pace for the second half of the fight. And but still, even though Jermaine Franklin was coming forward being busy, he still wasn't landing no shots. And Booker was still catching him with some good shots. When he did decide to work. You understand what I'm saying? But that's just my opinion. That's the way I think, man. But I want to see. I would love to see Booker versus like Ortiz, man. I think that'd be a good ass fight, bro. I think that'd be a good ass fight. But that's all I got on that.
Okay, that's cool. That's good. Lord, that's like JMJ. Have you seen the fight?
No, sir.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, sir. But I seen one time that someone threw somebody on the corner, but that might be the next fight. Probably was that it? Kurt or Trap? Was that it?
What's
someone
that?
threw somebody in the corner or something like that.
What you say?
Someone threw somebody. The push so hard that someone threw somebody in the dog in the corner.
Threw somebody in the corner?
Yeah.
Talking about last night?
Yeah. Someone threw somebody in the corner last night.
Yeah. One of them fights, yeah, somebody did get tossed in the corner or something like that. I don't remember which one it was. But.
I didn't see that fight, but I saw the corner. Someone threw somebody in the corner. I was too busy watching the NBA playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to remember who it was, but right now I can't remember right offhand.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember too. I don't recall. Maybe I missed that.
Someone clipped somebody so hard, someone doggone threw him in the corner.
Yeah, I can't remember who that was. I've seen that fight, man. No, it wasn't. I don't think it was the heavyweight fight.
Threw somebody in the corner.
Who fought on the Showtime card first?
Booker, Franklin, who else?
Two white guys, something like that.
It was the Swedish guy.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I just can't because I turned to the PBC, so I missed that fight.
I think that's the fight you're talking about. One of them got slammed in that fight.
Damn.
Oh, okay. I saw that. I said, what? What they doing? WWE wrestling or something like that?
Yeah, he was looking for
what they doing? Chad something like that? Y'all know who Chad Gable is. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Kurt, you know who Chad Gable is. He's a wrestler, collegiate, you know.
Oh, okay. I didn't know who it was.
So they were doing that. Like Kurt Angle in the Olympics. that's all I had to say.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So other than that, man, you see them fights, man. I'm looking for the NBA playoffs and all that, man. It's a good day for the last 2 weeks. March Madness, boxing.
Man, I like it all. I even like I even watch the NHL hockey playoffs. I like soccer. I like all that, man. The white boys, they be like surprised when I know about hockey, and the Latinos, they be surprised with soccer, but like next week is another big fight weekend. Crawford Khan, Garcia, and Granados. You're gonna have NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, baseball. I'm a diehard Yankee fan. So man, I was trying to keep up with everything yesterday.
Hey man, I'm gonna tell y'all one thing, man. NHL playoffs. That's the only thing we shine at. The last time my Carolina Hurricanes won the Stanley Cup was 2006. But I'm proud of them going back to the playoffs. But the Carolina Hurricanes, it's been a while, since they went to the Stanley Cup, 2006, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We're gonna if y'all want to, we could talk all about that next week.
Yeah. We can talk whatever that wherever the conversation takes us. Like we talking about this weekend fights, because next week it's going to be all Crawford and Khan and Garcia and Granados, because those are two big fights, man. And we're gonna have a lot of fights from here on in. After that is Prograis and Relic.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be a stretch of boxing, man, and boxing is my favorite sport by far. And it overshadowed anything else, But
That's
like
right.
we talking about this weekend fights, man, and we ain't even get to the meat of it yet.
Yeah, we ain't get to it yet. Oh, yeah. Before I continue, the Khan and Crawford fight is going to be after boxing analysis. I will be doing that, so watch out for that. You know what I mean? Now, the other fight. I think it's one more fight on the card.
Yeah, there was I'm going to the PBC. There was another major fight, Sergey Deverenchenko versus Jack Kulke. Kulke Deverenchenko gave Jacobs a tough fight, and Kulke gave Andra a tough fight. He lost by a split decision. It wasn't really a particularly exciting fight. Deverenchenko didn't look that good, but he still won. So they remain in the mix. I want to see Charlo, who was the announcer, fight one of those guys, man, and see how he matches up with them. So I don't have too much more to say. I've seen most of the fight. It wasn't that exciting. I thought it would be a better fight. But the styles didn't really mesh that well. Deverenchenko didn't look good, but he won, so he's still in the mix.
That's cool. All right. Anybody else want to elaborate on the fight before we get to the big one?
Yeah, I'll elaborate on the
Go ahead.
fight. As Kirk said, he didn't look very good in there, and Kulke is a guy that can kind of like help you to stink up the joint, because he's not going to take certain types of risks, but he's steady. But I did a video on Sergey Deverenchenko and Kulke's fight, leading into it, and I talked about the boxing skills that Deverenchenko has. He's definitely a guy that he'll fight a Charlo or Harrison, whoever's there, whoever's there at the weight. And the thing about it is, he has the amateur pedigree and the professional skills to make a good fight. It's not like he's Triple G. He's not. Triple G doesn't even want any parts of him. So it's like he's better than Triple G, I think, in my head. I do have to start to question some of these guys coming from over there, their true ages, because for the ages that they are, all of them seem to now be breaking up in the face. It's like their faces are falling apart, and that's usually a sign for those guys that they might be a little bit older than what people have said. And like they want to talk about Luis Ortiz being a little older than he has been, aged as listed as. But I think that Deverenchenko is a very good title challenger fighter, and I think he will fight better against a titleist, just like he did against Danny Jacobs.
Okay, that's cool. That's good. Well, we're gonna go on to the big five, and then we're gonna chop up other things too. We're gonna start from Trap House. Trap House. the fight last night. What do you like about it? That Clarissa Shields has pulled it out. What she done?
I thought she did a good job, man. I thought that Clarissa Shields looked better than I really actually have ever seen a fight before. You know, she said it was gonna be easy though, man. I was kind of surprised a little bit how easy she made it, but then again, I'm not because all those Eastern European fighters, they have a rough time with that cagey style, man. They have a rough time with it, and I thought that Clarissa Shields showed some pretty good defense too last night. You know, I think that left hook changed the whole course of the fight in that second round, man. When she got clocked with that left hook, it just took her whole morale and it just tossed it out the whole Atlantic City. The whole Atlantic City, just out of the whole city, period. Just tossed it out of there, and that was it. That broke all of Christina's Hammer's little spirit. But I think that Clarissa Shields could have used the jab a little bit more, you know, and kept that jab in the face. She did use it, so I thought she could have used it more. And I think if she'd have used her jab a little bit more and got a little bit more aggressive, she could have stopped him. You know, she definitely could have stopped him. But I don't even think that this is the best Clarissa Shields that we seen yet. I think we're gonna see. I think she's gonna get better, man. I think she's gonna get better as the competition rises up. She's gonna get better.
Napoleon Armstrong, salute. Okay, Stormy. Matter of fact, Stormy B, man, hold that thought. Lord Dawkins.
Salute to the Queen, man, for getting that undisputed title, man. You know what I mean? For making history. Salute to the Queen, man.
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna talk about the history too in a few minutes. Lost Dawkins, the fight.
Yeah, I didn't see me Darkness. I just watched some of the highlights today on YouTube. Yeah, it's a fantastic accomplishment what she's done. She absolutely, what I did see, it looked to me like she absolutely schooled Christina Hammer, who I thought was a pretty good fighter. Yeah, fantastic. Take me out off to the girl. And like I say, it's an amazing accomplishment what she's done. And it's great for the people. And it's great for women's boxing.
Okay, cool. JMJ.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, man. Some people were saying on the afterthought, after fight. I didn't see it though, but they said that was the most dominant performance since doggone. And me and Carl Burrell reiterated on that. Obviously, he was in on World Breakers panel or something like that. They said that was the most dominant performances since that doggone Aerospace Michael Garcia. You feel what I'm saying? And I was like, wow. I was really like, wow, brothers and sisters. You know. So in actuality, man, Clarissa Shields, do you think? Like I don't think Layla Ali did that in a while, didn't Layla Ali didn't do that, didn't
Yep.
No, she didn't do that.
What you talk about?
Talk about Clarissa Shields versus Christina Hammer. You know what I'm saying? They say they ain't see those performances like that since Mikey Garcia, the Aerosmith and Mikey Garcia the last fight. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Layla Ali get undisputed. That's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah. Did she do that? Did she do that Trap House?
Well, get undisputed?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I don't believe Layla Ali did. I don't believe so.
I don't think she was undisputed.
No.
Oh, no. I don't think so. I think only What, Cecilia Bracken's made or something like that, right?
Cecilia Brackett. I can't think of nobody else.
That's it. I believe that's it.
And another thing too, and I seen the stat. I done seen the stat a little bit. I said I didn't know Holly Holm that's in UFC that used to dog go box. I didn't know Holly Holm did that.
Where used to box?
Holly Holm.
That's where she came from, boxing.
Yeah, and she had hands too, man. She was in this fight with this foreigner. I forgot her name. It is probably the greatest woman fights I've ever seen. She stretched home, but they kept hurting each other, man. I got to look at that fight again to get the name right, man. But Holly Holm wasn't bad at all as a boxer.
Okay.
That's why she was able to beat the brakes off that fairy tale.
Rousey.
Yeah, Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Man, easy work.
So I'm gonna tell you this. I'm proud of Clarissa Shields, man. She look out for our black boxers, the champions, and them other people, man. All the other people, the black fighters. You know what I'm saying? He said, "Really look out for us, man. Look out for us, the black fighters that's in here. We never had that in a while, man."
Yeah, that's true, man. Clarissa did us proud, man. You know, they was talking about her looks, trying to down her, you know, and everything. And she fought with a lot of control, you know, intensity and determination. You know, she was a lot better than I thought she would be. She had the body movement of a James Toney, you know, her upper body movement. Plus her jab was crisp, and especially when she triple up on the jab. And, you know, I'm usually hard on her trainer, John David Jackson, but I gave him props for getting her in shape mentally and physically, because she was in great shape, man, you know, and she dominated, you know, Hammer, man, dominated. Hammer was very apprehensive, man. She didn't want no smoke with Clarissa Shields.
Talking about looking at the referee for what I was supposed to do with that? I'm like, what? Shut up and fight.
Man.
Shut up and fight.
Mouthpiece out, and she was looking for a way out, man. She ain't want that smoke like that.
Yeah, I believe in the 8th round too. You see,
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, man, she talking about a rematch. She don't need a rematch for sure. That style is just all wrong for her. She don't got the fit. Like she's a different type of strong, but she don't have the physicality. You know, the physical strength to be able to deal with a cagey style like a Clarissa Shields when it all boils down to it. Clarissa Shields can just make it a dog fight for her and make it rough for her every time, and that's what it's gonna be, and she ain't gonna be able to do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? So she just need to go another way, because I don't think she can train for it and all that, but eventually that's not what she really do. It's okay to add it into her repertoire. You know what I mean? But that's not what she really do. She ain't gonna be able to beat no Clarissa Shields. The only way she can beat Clarissa Shields is that she's able to master the outside boxer style, and she don't have it. She don't have it.
And especially someone. I think Hammer called Shields a heifer. You don't call her nothing like that.
She said what?
They call her a heifer. Call Shields a heifer. Something like that. I said, what? You gonna get yours.
Yeah, she's one of those foreigners, man. She saw a couple of videos because the braided hair, using the word heifer, coming out on hip hop, you know, talking black, keep it real and all that. I said, yeah, I see where this is going.
Yeah.
And you know, at first I was a little leery, man, because I was like, man, is dating it. She fall into this little verbal war with this girl, man, and I thought that it was gonna carry over into the fight, but it was all wrong for me. She wasn't even on that type of time. She was like, man, I'm gonna do what I gotta do and beat this whole ass, and that's what she did.
Yes, she did. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, whooping.
Man, I was surprised, bro. I'm proud of the sister, man. She made us proud last night, and I fell asleep. I ain't even watched the fight. I fell asleep last night. I was mad as a motherfucker, man.
Yeah, exactly. Now Kurt and Story B Man and me, talking about break down the fight and also the break down the history that has something to do for our women's boxing plus in our community. Period. But I think that we need to talk more about that, and then even everybody else they could jump on. They jump on it.
Well, the history of women's boxing. The problem with it, they just don't have enough stars to keep it afloat. I mean, you had Christy Martin. She was marketed very well because she fought on the undercard of Mike Tyson.
Right.
That was great matchmaking. The coal miner's daughter. You had my favorite fighter of all time, woman Lucille Riker, over there in Holland. She was a very good fighter, man. And of course you had Layla Ali because of her last name. She made sure she was seen with her father because that was a great marketing tool. And then you had Joe Frazier's daughter who fought. And it's funny, man, because Ali and Frazier's daughter, they had a match, but it died down a little bit after that. And Clarissa Shields is going to carry it on her shoulders, man, but it just doesn't have enough fighters to capture the public's imagination because now who's she going to fight, Brackets or that other one from UK? I don't want to see her mess with the weight. Just stay busy as you can. But that's basically a woman's history. You had Ali, Lucille Riker, Layla Ali, like I said before, and the coal miner's daughter, Chrissy Martin, and I mean, and she was exciting. It ain't much you can do or say because the biggest fight before last night was Martin and Ali. It was a mismatch. She was just way too big for Christy Martin, man, and it turned into a mismatch. But it doesn't have that big history, where you can go in depth when you talk about women's boxing, man. But last night, maybe it can get started, with the fight that happened last night.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Kurt. Story B Man. Tell us the importance of the fight and the history.
Well, I think that Kurt covered the history quite well.
Okay.
And it was interesting seeing Christy Martin last night before the fights because they interviewed her ringside. And when I looked at her and I was like, damn, I'm old because I remember when she was fighting on Mike Tyson's undercards. And no matter how long we look at these fighters, and I know Kurt can relate to this, we look at these fighters and we've seen them begin their careers. We've seen their careers come to an end. And, life goes on for us. And even though we don't see them in the sport anymore, when you see them in their retirement, it's like, well, damn, am I retired too? It's like, it's a weird thing. But kudos to Christy Martin, who is no longer married under the Martin name, but she's promoting fights now. And she has a woman fighter that she's promoting. So, and she said she learned a lot from working with Don King about promoting fights. And let's see what can happen with her because she was a very strong name in the sport. And the woman could fight too. And it was like, it was a shame that there was such a size disparity between she and Ali because if they were closer in size, it could have been a very competitive fight because I think Layla learned enough in the gym with the people who worked with her to learn how to box, but Christy Martin was a fighter. But their size difference was just a little too much, and it affected the outcome of their match. Now, getting into last night's fight, I'm sorry to say, but there's a lot of people now, they're on the Clarissa Shields bandwagon, okay? But I mean, it's okay because she needs all the love, support, and fanfare that can be given for where she is in the sport, in the women's division, and to be held up because she's a real fighter herself. But what I want to say about the match going in, there were a lot of people who had doubt. There were a lot of people who were undecided as to figuring how it could go, and also Christina Hammer, with her years of experience in the sport and the success that she had had herself. People were a little bit, and they won't say it today in the aftermath, but they were a little bit intimidated by her accomplishments and even her physicality. But I didn't see it that way.
Right.
I remember when a few weeks ago when Clarissa Shields was on Black Fight Fans Trail Boxing Talk, and she was interviewing there, and she was talking about where she saw herself going, how she saw herself approaching this fight, and what she wanted to do in the sport. She sounded every bit as much as a fighter in men's division of yesteryear, how they would talk and how they would want to be the best and things like that. The things we don't hear anymore. And it's coming from her, a woman of color, from dire straits and conditions, who has a background and a history of hardships, but who has overcome and persevered. When I heard her talking on Trill Boxing Talk in that interview, I immediately sent a super chat in, gave love and support, because this is what the sports need. This is what the sport needs, a personality, or even more personalities like that, who are focused and who have goals and ambitions, not for money, not for just trying to say, I secured that bag, but she is participating in something where she wants to prove that she's the best. If she's not the best, show me who is, and I want that person. You understand? We don't see that anymore in the men's division. These men are all dancing around each other instead of dancing as partners and duos. Okay, they're dancing like zombies in the corner, mumbling around by themselves. They don't want to face each other. They're afraid to let an O go or something like that. And they want to get paid well for it. It's ridiculous that a woman could come along and steal your thunder.
Right.
What she did in the fight last night was it was boxing at a higher class that we hadn't seen her do yet. And I was waiting to see if she were capable of doing the things that would be necessary to not just become victorious, but to separate, create a greater divide between the talent that she brings to the table and that had been the norm. Christina Hammer, everything she did, that was the norm of women's boxing. The performance that Clarissa Shields put on last night was a new day. Okay, she showed us defense. She showed us counterpunching. She showed us ring generalship. She was able to take the play away from Hammer, and not in a one-dimensional manner. She did it many different ways. Initially, it was the overhand right throwing over Hammer's jab. And when Hammer got hit with a couple of her punches, she recognized, oh, the girl is powerful, so I'm going to try to stay on the outside. But then Clarissa took that away from her because she began to put her hands a little lower and invite Hammer to throw punches at her. And when she threw the punches, she slipped them and countered them. She was throwing double hooks to the body, double hooks to the head. She was countering. A couple of times she looked like Donald Curry in there with the way she would counter off of Hammer's punch right away. And then that's what made Hammer keep her hands at home. It wasn't the fact that she was just missing, but she was missing and getting hit. This is boxing at its apex. This is skill. We're talking about the separation between why those Eastern European fighters have a hard time against the really good American fighters. Clarissa Shields showed it last night, and that was something that has to be commended. A lot of people are not going to talk about the technical breakdown to that degree. They may touch on some things, but there was so much that reminded me of what was great about boxing. In a video I did, I mentioned the names Whitaker, Curry, and Mayweather, all complete fighters who at their time, in their heyday, were doing things that we saw Clarissa Shields do last night. And she did it in an exciting manner. Even with the referee who wouldn't let her fight on the inside, she still was able to take the play away from Hammer by making Hammer do what she didn't want to do. And that's come forward at some points. She would throw something, miss, get hit, and then retreat. But then Clarissa would take the play away again. It was an outstanding performance. I cannot say it enough. This woman needs all the praise and everything. Remember, Hammer was getting praised, but she hadn't done shit.
Done nothing.
So here we are for someone who has really accomplished. She slayed the dragon. Okay, you said that woman was the best. You said that woman, oh, I don't know, her jab, her jab, her jab. Yeah, Clarissa told her cornerman, yeah, that bitch got a hard-ass jab, but she was beating her jab. You know, you understand? She was taking it away from her. So at the end of the day, she did exactly what I had hoped that we would one day see from her, and she put it all together in one fight. It was a magnificent performance. Kudos to her, her hometown, her family, her friends. Everyone should feel 100% chest out, chin up, proud, because she did us all proud. And she shamed the men's division, because all of those guys that could be fighting each other over there and they're not doing it, and they want to get paid high paydays for this. She's embarrassed all of them because she's accomplished shit. Okay, she's won 2 gold medals. Now she's undisputed pro, and she beat the toughest, hardest person out that was out there that they said. She took that money from them too. So what excuse do these guys in the men division have now? You're gonna let the women just embarrass you like that? So that's what I have to say about that. I love Clarissa Shields. I think she has nowhere to go but up from here. I hope she starts to get the endorsements. I hope she gets the money. I hope she's able to do things and take care of her family and take care of her town. I just want to throw all the support I can behind her.
Okay. Well, my assessment, and then we're gonna keep this going. With my assessment on that when I seen the fight. And then what I was worried about, because talking about David Johnson, I was very worried about when she throw the face. Is she gonna tuck her chin in? I was one thing I was worried about that, because in the past, when you train the fighters, the chin had been exposed. So when I analyzed the fight all last night and everything, I was very proud because she was definitely defensive sound. I like when she's double up on the jab to the body, hook to the body, disguising her output of different punches. I like when she take her time. I like when she think. I like when she thought herself with before the hammer reacting. And see, so when you was at times reacting instead of thinking, you was going to lose. And that's what the hammer would do. Hammer was like really fighting for survival. She was fighting for just do whatever you can. I just want to get out of this. You can see the body movement, how she was reacting. And I feel for our community, that's a great win for us. For our community, she has stepped up. And for women's boxing, she make the women's boxing proud. And just as Stormy B and the rest of the panel has said, she put these men, ashamed. She stepped up, took the belt, and I feel she didn't even tap to her prime yet. So it goes to show how much tools that she could really have, that she could really do. She reminded me a little bit of Spence. And so the sky's the limit, like Sugar saying, it's going to be kind of hard because it's not that many women stars that actually fight to get a fight. So but she got to fight whoever's in the front. So she could actually, if she take her time and she still had the mindset, she could run. She could run the table. So I'm looking for her to really run the table, and I hope that it's when within 2 years that I step up and give her the fight. And so I'm really proud of her. She made us proud as a people. She made us proud. And these men, y'all need to get your asses together. You know what I'm saying? Stop. Y'all need to stop saying the A side and the B side, and you let these promoters telling y'all you shouldn't fight yet. You know, you come to boxing to fight. You come to boxing, you want to fight the best. You did not come to boxing just stand on the sidelines and just waste your talent away. And then you just want to go to parties and we ain't doing shit about it. We want to see fights. We want to see great fights. We want to see fights that unify. We don't want to see no one and fighting two and all that. We want to see a fighter fight 2 or 3 times out the year. We want to see great fights. Because I'm telling you right now, I am not going to pay for no pay-per-view for no bullshit ass fights. I'm not paying for no bullshit ass fight that's not even championship level. I'm not going to do that. And we should never do that. So on that, that's my take. Anybody want to say something before we continue?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this though. I'm gonna tell you this. Christina Hammer said a offensive word to her. Any other time any boxer would have heard that and thought about that, they would try to hit that home run. But she fought smart on that joint. You feel what I'm saying? Any other time they would have got pissed off on that and try to knock her head off. Knock her head off, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, she fought a smart fight and doggone handle her business and became the first black lady undisputed champion. You know what I'm saying? So other than that, man, salute to her. You know?
Okay, cool. Anybody else want to jump into this conversation before we continue? Well, okay. I want to talk about boxing rivalries. What is your favorite boxing rivalries? And explain and why we're gonna start off on Trap House Boxing. What's your favorite boxing rivalry?
You said my favorite boxing rivalry?
Yep.
You caught me off guard with that one, man. Come back to me on that one, bro.
Okay, you be last. Stormy Man. Same question, please.
My favorite boxing rivalry is Ali and Frazier. Not only because the men had great styles that meshed well in the ring, but also I believe they both had the character, the substance inside that drove them, albeit in different ways, that made for them to not give in or surrender in their matches against one another. And as we now know, as history tells us, after the Thriller in Manila was called, Ali had every intention of quitting in the at the end of the 14th round of their fight, and Frazier was still raring to go. And Eddie Futch told Frazier he was stopping it because his eye was completely shut and he couldn't see out of it anymore, and he didn't want him to get hurt because he knew that Ali could really capitalize on limitations such as a swollen shut eye. And in the sport of boxing, something as serious like that in a 15-round fight, it could be life-threatening. You could really get hurt in there. But had he had any inkling that Ali had went to his own corner at the end of the 14th and told Angelo Dundee and his cornerman, cut my gloves off. That man is crazy. I ain't going back out there. If Eddie Futch or Georgie Benton, any of the guys that were in Frazier's corner had any inkling that that was Ali's remarks, they would have, and Georgie Benton said this years later when he was doing the greatest rounds in boxing on a panel with Burt Sugar and a few other sports guys. He said that they would have stood Frazier up off the stool and have him in the corner before the bell rang, start madly throwing shadow punches, you know, like he's really ready to go and rip and roar and ready to kick ass, because they knew Ali wouldn't have come out. And it's the first and only time in history that we know that Ali did not want to go out for another round. So when they stopped the fight, Ali was relieved and he just stood up and held his hand up like, I'm the victor. But behind the scenes, nobody ever knew that that was the drama of the ending of that fight and the ending of those two fighters, because they both laid it all on the line in each of their three fights. But at the end of that fight, I think they both left a piece of themselves in the Philippines when they faced each other on that night. So that's my favorite trilogy and rivalry in boxing.
Again, shout out to the LDBC, that stands for Lions Den Boxing Community, also basketball community. All right, Kurt. Same question, please.
Yeah, my favorite rivalry. I'm gonna list a couple. I'm gonna tell you my favorite at the end. Ali and Frazier is number 2. Ezra Charles versus Jersey Joe Walcott is up there. That's a great rivalry that doesn't get the respect it deserves. You know, let me see. Oh, yeah, how can I forget? Robertson versus LaMotta was a great rivalry. You know, but my all-time favorite rivalry is Sugar Ray Leonard versus Thomas Hearns. I was maybe 15 years old, you know, when that fight came about. You could see that fight building. It was what you call a collision course, because Leonard had just gotten over another big rivalry with Duran, you know, and it was no time for the weary, you know, because here's this 6'1" skinny dude that could hit like a mule, man, you know, named Thomas Hitman Hearns.
Yeah.
You know, and first 32 fights, he was 30 knockouts. I mean, he was brutalizing people. And people forget it was Leonard Cueva was supposed to fight, but Cuevas had a roadblock, and the roadblock was Tommy Hearns. So the fight was scheduled August 2nd, 1980 in Detroit. And when he did the Cuevas, I was like, holy smokes. You know, and then I remember saying Bob Arum, he had a little black head, and he said, I had never seen nobody hit like this kid. Nobody. You know, how things has changed. And Leonard sitting in there with a 3-piece gray suit, and they were shoving the mics in his face, and they was like, you scared of this man. You scared of him. And Ray was like, I ain't scared of no man. You know, I'm not scared of him. You know, and the fight was just building, man. See, people don't realize, man, how big that fight was, because Tommy Hearns was the puncher and Leonard was the boxer. But when they fought, that fight did a 360-degree turn. Hearns became the boxer and Leonard became the puncher.
Right.
And he was outboxing Leonard. And Leonard, what separated Hearns was a better technical boxer than Ray, but what separated Leonard and Hearns was Leonard's reservoir of will to win. That's something Tommy didn't have, that intangible. You know, Muhammad Ali had it, Mayweather had it, Leonard had it. It was just something that they can kick into another gear. And, you know, the build-up, the press conference, everything, it just took it just captures everybody's imagination. Women, little kids, everybody on the block was talking about it. You know, it was just a fever pitch, you know, because that's my favorite fight of all time and my favorite rivalry, man. And the fight lived up to his expectations, man, because nobody knew that Hearns can box like that. And we knew Leonard was tough, but when he just went to the stratosphere when he beat Hearns, it put him on a level so high that he couldn't even come down. He etched his name in the annals of boxing lore and history. Because a lot of people wouldn't have beat Hearns that night. A lot of people.
Right.
You know, he was only 22, I believe, and you know, he came in a fight a little light at 145, you know, and should have came in a little heavier, you know, and the fight was great, the rivalry, you know, Hearns didn't like Leonard, Leonard didn't like Hearns, man. It was just magical, man. You know, I mean, I still watch that fight like it happened yesterday. So
Yeah.
Leonard versus Hearns was my favorite rivalry of all time.
Okay, cool. J&J, your favorite rivalry, boxing rivalry of all time.
Man, you know what? I was born at it. I was born in with um the Ali Frazier, but I always try to watch ESPN Classic. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But Kurt Sugar made a good point though about the Hitman versus Sugar Ray, man. And I remember to this day, and they still show Mark, and they still show Martin to this day. He said, I remember watching Martin one day. He said, I got a call from Sugar. He told Hitman this when they were at it. They said, I got a call from Sugar. They used to call you the Get Hitman. I was like, what the hell? Martin was hilarious with that. But when he got that ring, I believe Martin Lawrence was a doggone a boxer too, man. I believe he was. I believe he was a boxer. He was throwing them hands like it wasn't nothing. Martin Lawrence, man, but I think Sugar Ray and Leonard and Ali and Frazier, man. I agree with Kurt Sugar with that one, man.
Yeah.
I agree. I really agree with that one. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, we don't have rivalries. People want to duck it and all that other stuff, man. It don't make no sense. We can make the money like it is now. Don't want no undisputed, or just want money more than undisputed too. You know what I'm saying? Money, I mean, undisputed makes money, and actuality, and that Kurt, or underrated, being undisputed, it makes money, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
So other than that, man, what money? Try to become undisputed makes money, don't it?
Yeah, I mean, you can claim the A side, but nothing trumps a big name because you could be undisputed, but if a guy has a big name, then it trumps that because when Marvin Hagler was champion, Leonard was away for years. He got the ring, the gloves, everything he wanted because of his name. Ali too, because you always get the benefit of the doubt.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So other than that, man, I agree with Kurt Sugar with Leonard and Leonard and what was it Hearn and doggone Ali and Frazier. So I agree with Kurt Sugar concession. You feel my opinion?
Okay. Cool. All right. Trap House.
Yo, I'm back.
Okay.
All right, man, hold on, man. All right. So yeah, man, I got Sugar gave me a good idea. I do got a couple of them, man, but I don't want to elaborate because it's one of them. Well, they both old, really, but one of them was real old, and I can't really remember, you know, exactly what happened at the time. But Sugar Ray Robinson versus Randy Tarpon, man, I thought that was
yeah.
I think that was a good one because you know it was you know country you know UK versus America, so and it was a lot on the line. And Randy Tarpon had to beat Sugar Ray. And I think hey Kurt, help me out. Stormy B or somebody, if I'm mistaken, didn't he take Sugar Ray belt and went over there in the UK with him? Didn't he take all his belt? Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
He took his belt, and then they had a return match. Yeah, because Robinson was on the European tour, and I think Robinson took him lightly, and he beat Ray. Yep.
And Ray came back, and he stopped him. I think in about the 9th round, it was something like that. But he stopped Tarpon. I think he might have knocked him through the ropes or something like that. And he brought the belts back over here to the you know U.S. American tour. And another one was Sugar Ray and Roberto Duran, man. That was a good one, man. I thought the build up to that one, even with the whole thing about Roberto Duran messing with Sugar Ray's son. You know, just I don't want to get too much specific because I don't really exactly remember the detail what happened. But the whole point of you know, Roberto Duran beating Sugar Ray, you know, took him out of his whole little game plan. Everything had to second guessing himself. You know, in the second return fight, you know, Sugar Ray did what he was supposed to do, and he, you know, easy work. But the third fight, I wasn't really, you know, I wasn't really too interested in that. But that's pretty much it that I can really much think of besides the Tommy Hitman and the Iran Barkley too. Because what was so ironic about that whole thing is that a lot of people don't know Iran Barkley was he was a fan of Tommy Hearns. He used to have Tommy Hearns posters on his damn wall. And he had the, you know, the opportunity came to fight, and Tommy Hearns beat the shit out of Iran Barkley, man, in that fight, man. And I think Ireland, I mean, hitting him with some hell of a body shots, man. I mean, he was giving some good work. And Tommy Hearns, he always get thirsty. You know, he's not real good defense responsible. Yeah. And he got caught. When he got caught, he couldn't recover, man. And Barkley got him up out of there. So they were saying it was a fluke and all that other stuff. So they ran it back. And Barkley ended up, I think, didn't he knock him out again?
Yeah, he knocked him out.
No.
He knocked him out. Yeah.
No, he won a split decision.
Oh, it was a split decision? Oh, okay.
Split decision, yeah. The split decision. So, and right then and there, man, like Tommy Hearns, I believe, he started moving up in weight and stuff like after that, you know, because, you know, it wasn't looking good for him at that point. But that's pretty much it, though, man. Those are my the ones that I really just thought about that I enjoyed. It's some more, but, you know, we can go on about rivalry.
Yeah. Well, I said, well, I had two rivalries. The first rivalry was Julia Jackson and McCullum, because a lot of people count out McCullum, and what he did to Julia Jackson that hardly nobody haven't done was crazy. And the next one is historical. And me and Kirk, you was on a panel on this one. Is the late Joe Frazier and George Foreman. Now why historic? Because the late great what's his name again? One had 103 knockouts. What is his name?
You talk about Henry Armstrong, Sandy Sadler?
Sadler, right. Now, I'm going to say a little story about Sandy Sadler. Sandy Sadler had 103 knockouts in 9 years. He had to retire prematurely of an eye injury. All right? His grandnephew is Grandmaster Flash. Okay? Now, but get back to the story. Speed it up like 40 years later. His first trainer was Sandy Sadler. Now, people see Sandy Sadler. He was the first one that knocked out Willie Pep, I think twice. And but get back to the story. He trained when Foreman first left the Olympics and became pro. He trained George Foreman and makes him as a boxer puncher, just as Sandy Sadler was like almost 40 years prior to that. And so when I was seeing like certain punches that he was throwing, despite how George Foreman, he was not fundamentally sound. We have to say that. But you know, you know, when he was Olympics, he would just throw just one or two. But he had to also know when he first came to pros. And thanks for Sandy Sadler. So those are my two rivalries and stuff like that. Now, we're gonna throw it at Stormy B. Stormy B. Who is one of your great what is one of your great boxers and why?
One of my great boxers. Well, my favorite fighter is Evander Holyfield. He was my favorite fighter, and it was always based on he was a highly skilled fighter, a boxer puncher, relentless with his determination in the ring, and also who could rise to almost any occasion of adversity that he faced. It was first on display at the '84 Olympics when he was disqualified and lost out on his gold and ended up with a bronze for hitting on the break. Well, they said he hit on the break and he was disqualified for it. The character that he showed behind the bad news, because almost every one of those guys on the Olympic team had won a gold medal.
Mm-hmm.
And Evander came home with the bronze as a result of that decision to disqualify him. He handled it with aplomb, but everyone in the cruiserweight division, when he turned pro, paid for it. And then when he decided to move up to heavyweight, which was a goal of his ever since he was a child, he was 8 years old, his first boxing coach told him that one day you could be heavyweight champion of the world. So he always believed in that because someone believed in him. And when he got there, the boogeyman of the division was Mike Tyson. So Evander knew in order to become the heavyweight champion of the world, he's going to have to beat the so-called baddest man on the planet. Another challenge that he relished, and he was up for it. But we all know that it didn't happen, and Tyson was sidetracked with personal problems, and then he later lost to Buster Douglas.
Right.
But Evander Holyfield was the prototype fighter that I liked. He was an action guy. He didn't talk a lot. During his professional career, he didn't talk a lot. He talks a lot now. And he was defensive responsible just enough to not really get seriously hurt in matches. He had fast hands, good combinations, a hell of a left hook, and one of the best counter right hands you ever see. Yeah. He was a complete fighter. The only person that reminded me of him at a different weight class was Marvin Hagler, who was a southpaw. But if Marvin Hagler was just a straight orthodox fighter, him and Evander Holyfield were like mirror images of each other, but just at different weights. And so that's who it is for me, Evander Holyfield.
Okay. James J. Your favorite fighter, favorite boxer?
Man, for me, when I was younger, I have particularly about 3 or 4 of them. But I think I could bring it down about 2 or 3. Tyson, you know, back in the '80s, especially back in '86. You know what I'm saying? Because he was small, but he was intimidating. You know, he was very intimidating. You know, maybe the '90s. I like Roy Jones because of his style. And didn't he come out of New Orleans or somewhere, Louisiana, somewhere there, up in that area? Roy Jones. Cause
No, he's from Pensacola, Florida.
oh, okay, he was from Florida, but I'll tell you this, man. Roy Charles was a very good fighter, man. He had that swag and everything, man. He had that swag and everything. And another one that I liked it was Sweet Pea, man. Pernell Whitaker, man. I don't care how many losses he had. It just a name itself. It was just a name itself that they did like him. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I say one.
you know what I'm saying. The name itself. You say you call him Sweet Pea. You what? Sweet Pea and all that, all that. What is it? Sweet what? I say okay. I can show you in that doggone ring. I can show you that ring. You know what I'm saying? So, sorry, I had to bring three. You know, because I was, you know, 80s, 90s, 2000s. You know, it was just a good thing for boxing to be. You know what I'm saying? Ain't discriminating against nobody. You know what I'm saying? I had three of them, so I did like Chris not see, but he was showing off too much.
Okay.
He was showing off too much. He got knocked out. I think with a couple of them.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now, James J named two. So Kirk, you do two. Stormy B do one, and Trap House Box, you can do one more, and I give you my two.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. You know, I have to go with the two Sugar Rays, man. Sugar Ray Robinson is my favorite, and then right below that, 1A, 1B is Sugar Ray Leonard, because when you look at them, they mirrored each other, man. They fought with a certain type of flair. They had heart, they had chins, they had power. You know, they was crossover stars. They won big fights. They had rivalries. They used to come back and beat people, and you know they just had a lot of eerie similarity. They were both pretty boys that can fight, man. You know, Sugar Ray Robinson was a professional tap dancer. You know, Sugar Ray Leonard used to be in the Bob Hope specials. 7-Up commercials. He was one of the few athletes that had, you know, was advertisement Franklin Sports. You know, because these are two of my favorite fighters. You know, they were like really tight businessmen too. They knew their business. You know, Robinson, man. You know, what can I say? The best fighter to ever put on a pair of gloves. You know, 173, 19. 103 knockouts. I'm trying to off the top of my head. 19 losses, 6 draws, 2 decisions, no contest, and Ray was what 36-3 with 1 draw with 25 KOs. You know, I like them so much. You know, I know their birthdays or whatever. These are two of my favorite fighters, but Robinson is number 1.
Okay, cool. Stormy B, you get another one.
Okay, another what? Favorite fighter?
Yes.
Okay. That's going to be interesting because if we go by eras, I was definitely a supporter in the 90s of James Toney, who fought at middleweight and super middleweight. I really liked his throwback style. He reminded me of the old fighters that he used to study and everything, like the Ezra Charles, excuse me, and Archie Moores. He had a style that was able to fit in any era, and he also had the convictions and the courageousness to be able to compete in any era, because James Toney was 100% man, and his skills were complete. He had a great jab. He had a good right hand. He had a devastating left hook. He was like a guy who, even if you were a great boxer, you had to take care of yourself for 3 minutes of a round because he could catch you.
Mhm.
I remember he caught Michael Nunn,
Oh yeah.
you know, late in the fight when forgive me a second, the coach Angelo Dundee was continuously reminding Nunn to move sideways, you know, move to the left or the right, but don't just stand in front of him and don't go straight back. He was reminding Nunn of this like for several rounds because Nunn was laying in with Tony and his left hook was getting closer and closer. And we know that when guys get fatigued, a punch that missed you by 3 inches in the early rounds will be that much closer in the later rounds because you're tired and fatigue has set in and punches begin to land. And boy, James Toney landed a devastating left hook on Michael Nunn, would put him flat on his back, but he got up. But he was so dazed he couldn't finish, and he ended up getting stopped on a TKO because Tony, when the fight resumed, he was able to follow up and knock him into the ropes and stop him. But it was a devastating knockout. He knocked out several other fighters the same way, and he knocked out fighters different ways.
Yeah.
Like I remember his fight against Prince Charles Williams late in the fight. I think it was the 10th round or something. He hit him with a 1-2, but the right hand landed right on the temple, and Charles went down, and it was like he was out, you know. And then when he fought, was it Vasily Jirov at cruiserweight?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
He ate that guy up with body punches and just took his legs away from him, and then devastatingly knocked him out. It was like it wasn't a come from behind victory because I thought that Tony was winning the fight, but he made it a lot closer because Jirov was busy and had him up against the ropes a lot. So it looked like Jirov was doing more than what was really happening. But I could see the results of Tony's body work and what it was doing to the guy. And he just totally devastated him. And it mirrored another fight that he had at heavyweight years later against Evander Holyfield, my favorite fighter again, that James Toney beat Holyfield with body punches and straight right hands that Holyfield refused to get out of the way of or couldn't get out of the way of. And he knocked Holyfield out, which was very interesting because the only other fighter that knocked Holyfield out was Riddick Bowe. And when Bowe was fighting Holyfield, he banged Holyfield's body a lot. And that made Holyfield, you know, available to him because he couldn't move away. It's like his legs, you know, take his legs. And James Toney did the same thing. And he sat in the pocket, drawing Holyfield in and just countering him all day long and just ate him up. It was a really good performance. And he did it consistently from middleweight all the way up to heavyweight.
All right, that's what I'm saying. What's up? Trap House. You got one more fight, one more favorite boxing.
Well, first, this is my first time going, but I'm gonna leave it on the one because I don't feel like digging back. But anyway, man, Stormy B took my whole little setup, man. James Toney hands down. Dang,
no, just give your take on whoever it is. If it's James Toney, give your take, man, because you could probably say something I don't say.
Yeah, it is a couple of things I'm gonna say, but I mean, you pretty much covered it. Like you said, he fought with a certain type of flair, man. Bravado, you know, he felt like wasn't nobody good to him, to be honest. He thought everybody was long. And the only thing is, you know, kind of messed me up because, you know, Roy, he come up out of Florida, but I've always been a huge James Toney fan for the style, man. Like Stormy said, I always felt like his style could translate to any weight class, and it did. He was very effective in it. I never seen nobody just put on a beat up Holyfield the way he did. He literally beat up Holyfield and stopped him. And another performance, highlight performance that stood out to me is when he beat the brakes off Iran Barkley, man. I mean, he just the master class he put on him was just ridiculous. It was amazing, you know. And Iran Barkley had knocked out, like I said, Tommy Hearn, and Roy Jones made James Coney. So it just show you the styles. But James Coney always told Roy he didn't want to run that back, and he always tickled me when he say, "You know them cats from Florida, y'all Florida cats can't fight anyway." You know, he always be talking. But yeah, other than that though, man, it's James Coney, man. James Coney's my guy. I like the style. Like I said, I like all the trash talk, the whole nine, you know. And that's pretty much it, though.
Okay. Well, my two is the first one, the Mongoose, the late great Archie Moore. He had to scrap and wait for the title shot for almost 20 years. And at that time, he was one of the longest reigning light heavyweight champions. And he took all comers. And I think that after he got the belt, I think he went undefeated for a long time. You know, he's one of the few. He won. He's the only boxer that had over 149. And he defended it and everything. I remember when he fought against Darrell. I believe that back in 56, 57. If I'm wrong, just correct me. And I remember he was like Carlos. He got knocked out at least about 3 or 4 times. But you know the Mongoose himself, he figured him out. And you see, Darrell was getting older, and the Mongoose was getting younger. And he figured him out and knocked him out in the later rounds. And I think in all other fights, but that fight really impressed me because he had to dig in deep and stuff. So salute to the late great Mongoose, the late Archie Moore. Now I know it's going to be some people going to have some problems with it, but I'm gonna say Thomas Hearns.
Hey, Underrated Dog, real quick, man. Who was that fight with Archie Moore when they was dropping each other like 5 times a piece? It was like about 10, 12 knockdowns in that fight, man. I think he ended up stopping Buddy, but Buddy dropped him like 3, 4 times back to back before he can even drop him. It was bad. I can't think of the name of that fight.
It was back in the 50s?
That had to be the Darrell fight.
Had to be the Darrell fight. Yeah, it was the Darrell fight.
I think that was the fight, bro. I think that was that fight.
Yeah, it was the Darrell fight.
Yeah, because there was a lot of knockdowns in that fight.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
It was the Darrell fight. Yeah. I said.
Y'all good over there?
Mute yourself. James, mute yourself.
You talking about me?
Yeah. Too much noise.
What's going on? What's going on?
I'm hearing back noise.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna mute myself.
All right, thank you. All right. And I said Thomas Hearns. And why I said Thomas Hearns, despite he lost to Sugar Ray Leonard, and he did avenge, back in '89, despite it was a draw. And then he refused to quit. And I know it's a long time, but I said this. So I said Sugar Ray Leonard. I believe Sugar Ray Leonard, the first part of his career, he had it better than Thomas Hearns, and Thomas Hearns had it better than the second half of his career because he did unify titles more than Sugar Ray Leonard. And also, he still was with the great trainer, Emmanuel Stewart. He started having other tools. He got better than defense, despite he having a little bit Aaron Barkley, But other than that, his left. He started knocking people out with left hands. He started knocking people with body. He became a boxer. I mean, and start setting up people. He always had the right. And the one fight that impressed me that a lot of people was back in 84, 85 when he fought the Roberto Duran. And everybody was picking the Roberto Duran was going to end on Thomas Hearns. And he just went in there just, wow, knocked him out second round. And it goes to show, and I said, wow. When I seen that, I was like, I never seen Durant got knocked out like that. And so I picked those two fighters because those fighters, they come from adversity and they became champions and stuff like that. And now, okay, now after that, okay, let me see, what's the next question I'm gonna ask?
Hey,
Now,
Underrated Darkness.
yes,
I wanted to add something to Tommy Hearns that you said
go ahead.
that you were speaking about, and it's not a jab at him. It's actually a compliment.
Mhm.
I also feel like Tommy Hearns is one of the greatest champions of all time, but he just didn't have a championship chin. If he had had a championship chin, that would have been the
Yeah.
most complete, most dangerous fighter out there because, you know, a guy like Hagler who was able to get to him, what if he had a chin that could take it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That
Right.
fight is already one of the greatest fights in history
History.
of
Right.
boxing.
Yeah.
But just imagine if Tommy had one of those really durable chins. That was his only thing. But man, he was a hell of a fighter, a hell of a champion, and courageous. He was probably even more courageous than the other fabulous three that he's always, lumped in with.
Uh-huh.
He probably was more courageous than any of them.
I agree on that. Yeah. And
I just wanted to say that about Tommy.
yeah, no, I agree on that. Cause that's what impressed me on Tommy. That when you talk about courageous, that's what I'm saying. That he did have. To me, he had a better second half of his career, better than Leonard. And I'm telling you like this: if he would not get hurt when he was in the cruiserweight, who knows? He could probably would have won the cruiserweight. So that would have been like maybe 5 titles that he unified. So I appreciate that. That's my take. Now I want to ask each brother, what how I'm gonna word this? Why intangibles so important in boxing? And I'm gonna throw it at trap hop boxing and go down the line. Okay, he probably okay. Storm Beeman. You heard the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Intangibles are interesting because you're talking about a sport that has it's a one-on-one competition, but the tools of the trade in the competition are they have a limit. So intangibles factor in significantly because when people have the same tools, when they have more or less of the tools, they have more or less of experience. The intangibles factor in to balance out where those insufficiencies show up. In other words, you can have a fighter who's a slugger, right? And he's definitely a guy who could fight on the inside, but he can't box very well, and he packs a good punch. Well, you match him up against a boxer who has a decent chin. He could take a shot good, or well, I should say, but he boxes from the outside. He uses ring generalship and things like that. Now, it makes for a good fight, but intangibles come into play in a situation like that, like when guys get fatigued and you throw their skill sets out of the window. Then you start talking about, you know, who can reach down deep, who can be more resilient and use his ring IQ, tie a guy up a certain kind of way, do things to change the tide of a bout, to make adjustments on the fly in the ring. These are all what we call the intangibles, okay? And some fighters, if they've been brought along the correct way, they're able to not only build their skill set to have in their toolbox, but the intangibles can be accentuated by them overcoming adversities. Has he had a cut before? Has he had to fight with a swollen eye before? Has he had to fight with an injury, like a one hand because he hurt his hand during the match? You know, different things like that. Being knocked down, get up, persevere, and still gain a victory. Those are the intangibles. In fact, I mentioned that in the Clarissa Shields Gabriels fight, maybe if Gabriels hadn't knocked Clarissa Shields down, she would not have performed as well as she did against Hammer, because Hammer, there was a danger there that she could get caught with something, you know, either from the outside trying to come in or coming in and getting caught with an uppercut. But the fact that she had gone down against Gabriels, got up and won the fight, she was now prepared for something like that as well. So it probably closed the gap for them as they were coming together to meet, because she brought something new with her that wasn't there prior. Those are the kind of things that you like to see in a fighter during this development, which is why I always speak about, before becoming a champ, learn how to fight. Because once you become a champ, everybody's gunning for you, and you're gonna you have to take on all different types of styles and everything. So if you know how to fight, you'll know how to defend. You see, and like guys like AJ, for example, he got all these belts and everything, right? Now they want to try to use the, oh, well, he's still young, he's still learning. Well, why'd you go out there and try to collect belts first? Why didn't he learn his craft first and then go after a title? They're holding, he's holding the titles over a duration, but not with defenses. He's been champ for a couple of years, but he ain't fought a lot of fights in those couple of years. It's because they're trying to stretch it out and make it look like it's more than what it is. But the guy can't fight. You know, he doesn't know how to fight. He can knock people out. He's strong and he's big. He has certain type of physical advantages. But there are fighters out there that's chomping at the bit to get to the guy because they know he's limited. So, you know, that's where tangibles come in. Intangibles, rather.
Right. Okay, cool. JMJ, same question.
Man, let me tell you something. Stormy B, man, said it right there to the point, man. So I agree with Stormy B, man.
Okay.
Intangibles, you know, it's just like fundamentals on the basketball court. You know what I'm saying? You can get a inside the basket shot, left hand, right hand. You might get hit a jumper, hit a hook, hit a 7 foot right hook or left hook. You know what I'm saying? Or you hit a jumper at the free throw line. Then you can probably hit a 3-pointer. You know what I'm saying? So intangibles is like all around. You got to have toughness and smartness for that, so you can what's it called? So you can be tough in a fight. You know what I'm saying? For the second win in the military, they call it second win. So you can when it comes to running or running a PT test or something like that, man, you gotta have a second win for in boxing too, in any sport. You know what I'm saying? So other than that, man, I agree with Stormy B, man. You know.
Okay, cool. Same question to Sugar.
Intangibles are important, man, because there's no measuring stick, man. You can have the same skill, or a fighter can have the same skill as you, but not the same intangibles, man. And that's what Ali had it in abundance. Leonard and Mayweather, they all had that. Robinson, that certain intangibles where you can dig deep. You can get knocked down. A lot of fighters, they don't know how to react to punches. Well, certain fighters that have that intangible, they do. Leonard, I seen him do it. Larry Holmes had it. Because intangibles is a certain type of intestinal fortitude, is a certain type of moxie and savvy. You just know how to win. You can bring out certain things when there's a fight that's close that the other fighter can't. He could be highly skilled, but he doesn't have that what you have. That's something that is in the pit of your stomach. You can think and make adjustments. All that is intangibles. I remember Emmanuel Stewart said that Floyd Mayweather was the best thinking fighter he ever seen coming towards the end of the fight. I remember he said that, and I was like, wow, that's an intangible that a fighter, a lot of fighters don't have it, but certain fighters do. It's like a God's gift, man, because it's not taught. I don't care who trains you, Eddie Fudge, Ray Arcel, Bowie Fisher, anybody. But it's something a fighter has deep, deep down in his soul, and that's the meaning of intangibles, man. And I done seen it a million times where you be like, damn, this fight, I got this fight even in the last couple of 2 or 3 rounds, he kicks it into another gear. He found the way late in the fight that he couldn't find in the middle early in the fight that propel him to victory. Like if you look at Mayweather and Judah, that was a tough fight in the first 6 rounds, but Mayweather made an adjustment. He found something that he can capitalize on, and made the adjustment and propel him to victory. And that's part of being part of intangibles. You can't teach it. You can't touch it, feel it. You just gotta have it in the pit of your stomach or your soul.
Okay. That's what's up.
That's when the second win and the other stuff kick in. You probably had to think and be tough about it. You know what I'm saying? I agree with everybody on this panel, what they said, man.
Okay, cool. All right. Trap House Boxing. Trap House Boxing. What happened? Okay. Let's go on. Come to Sugar. Tell us the condition of boxing right now and what the things have to get better.
The matchups, man. We got a lot of fights, but we need better matchups, man. I enjoyed the Shield and Hammer matchup that was made. We need the Wilder Joshua and definitely Spence and Crawford fight to keep boxing afloat. I don't like the politics. I never liked the politics, but today in 2019, we're even worse off. But they have to make better matches to keep boxing afloat. They people gotta learn to work together because any fight can be made. I don't care who it is, what promotional company they from. If they could make the fight, if they want to make the fight, they can make the fight. Boxing is weird because this is a social media, thing going on now these days. That's just what it is. There's no more boxing on HBO, which been in existence. 1973 was his first fight, Foreman and Frazier. Up until last year, I believe, and
yeah,
it's hard to believe, man. No more HBO. If that can happen, it can happen on Showtime. But they say they not going anywhere, and I wish we have a superstar fighter that that can capture the boxing imagination, like a Mike Tyson or a Sugar Ray Leonard or Muhammad Ali, you know, because they kept boxing on their shoulders. You know, boxing was riding off them. You know, we don't have that now because, see, black fight fans is like this. Boxing fans, we recognize the popularity of a fighter, but if he doesn't have that engaging personality, it's like, you know, he all right, you know, but he's not real, you know. That's something Jay-Z said, but you know, it's like we need a fighter that people be like, oh, that new dude, man, the one that come in the ring with no socks on and no robe and knocking out people. You see how big Mike Tyson was the world over? We need something like that.
Okay, cool. Stormy B, man, same question, please.
Well, I think there are too many titles out there per each weight class. If we got back to one champion, one champion per weight class, one belt per weight class, then that would force box offs between everyone who's in the top 10 under the champion to start fighting one another to position themselves for contention. If you could get the sport to adhere to that, get rid of these doggone sanctioning bodies because all they do is collect fees and everything, and have one champion per weight class, you could see better fights. And along the way, people who are vying for contention would become better because they would have to fight particularly matches that ordinarily we're not seeing anymore. So a guy who might be outside the top 10, he could jump inside the top 10 if he beats a couple of those guys. You understand? And the thing about it is, everybody who's in the top 10, even the top 5, they don't want to fight each other. They're just hanging around, milling about, waiting for the champion to say, okay, I pick you. You know, and if you get rid of all those sanctioning bodies, it would pick up the activity. Now, I understand that sanctioning bodies, they want the TV deals and everything too. So every fight they put on TV, it could be for some kind of belt. But guess what? A lot of times when you just put good boxing on TV, people just tune in. They don't care that the guy's the champ. What they care is that I saw a quality match. You know, it's just like watching the NBA finals. You know pretty much during the season who might end up in the finals, but you still watch the NBA regular games, right?
Right.
So why can't we see the regular fighters fight? It don't have to be for a damn title all the time. When the champion fights, he fights those guys. When the champion's not fighting, those guys have to fight each other.
Okay, cool. Before I continue, I will have a fellowship dinner because I did not cook. So I'm letting you know right now, I have me a sandwich. I'm gonna make me some dessert, and I'm gonna have me a sandwich, some soda and stuff. And yo, what I was playing how I do it in a few minutes and stuff like that. For me, intangibles are about the training, the hunger, the fundamentals, the offense and defense, the footwork, all those. But there is a question that I'm glad that it popped up, and the sugar. I want you to start off too. Do you think, like I'm talking about decades ago, that boxers is better, fundamentally sound offense and defense than boxers today?
Can I go?
I think it might. I'm gonna tell you this, man. I think it was better than the old school than the new school now. All this technology you got and all this other stuff, man. You know, you got all this. You get recover from a broken hand or something like that. Recover from a fractured skull or something like that. and then you be back in the ring. The technology is better here, but it seems like they don't know how to use it. You know, the old school, you had to go for what you know. Whatever reason, nobody don't use that technology. Use that technology no more. Rather than the old school. I bet we had a messed up ankle. You go to a home remedy. You know what I'm saying? A home remedy or something like that, man. But now you got all this technology, and some of them don't use it, man. Just like in terror right here. You know, when it comes to sports, I've been seeing gruesome injuries now. I know some of it is devastating. I'm talking about when it comes to boxing. With I forgot who had the knock, the split on his head. You know, people who getting hurt on the basketball court because of their legs. We even had a gymnastics girl that broke both of her legs. We already know football how that is, but it's been gruesome and devastating, man. You know what I'm saying? With the boxing, to the football, to the basketball too, and to the tennis. Well, someone hurt her knees or something like that, and all that other stuff. Boxing has been gruesome too. You know what I'm saying? Someone got a knot on his head, a little dent on his forehead. I forgot who that was. If you can elaborate, Mr. Stormy B, man, I forgot who that was. I see that a couple of, I think about a couple of months ago. If you can elaborate.
Okay. All right. Same question, Stormy B.
Okay, what's that question again? I want to understand it clearly.
That was Badu Jack you're talking about, right?
Yeah, that's the one, Badu Jack. You had that a busted up forehead.
Yeah. What about him now?
That bitch, you know, I was thinking about that, man. And you know, every sport try to be gruesome or something like that, man. And this, I don't know if it's the technology getting messed up or something like that, or anything else, man. You know.
Well, I'll say this about the Badu Jack situation. You know, I spoke at length about what I thought about Lou Del Val. Keep sending him out there with that type of cut, knowing the conditions and climate of the fight. It was not a fight he was going to win based on styles going in, especially being impaired with a cut like that. You just saw last night that Caleb Truax, his corner stopped the fight after the second round and that clash of heads, that his cut was so severe that he was going to be fighting with a severe handicap and he would go on to a big loss. So to stop that fight based on the cut like that was the best thing to do. Here you have two examples within the past couple of months where a corner could have made the correct decision and didn't, and a corner who could have made the correct decision and did. You see what I'm saying? This is how far out boxing is, because there was no way that with a cut like last night that Caleb was going to be able to compete with Kid Chocolate. All Kid Chocolate have to do is just keep hitting that cut, or when they get in close, rub his glove or his hand up against it and open it up worse, which will happen. You know, and so they stopped it. His corner man saw the severity of it. They say, hey, we could come back and fight another day. Let's just get him stitched up and healed up, and he'll come back another day. That's what you have to do.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And the question that I asked Tony B, do you think the boxing of yesterday had better fundamentals than boxers today? And explain.
Absolutely, unequivocally, yes, because they took the time. You know, they took the time to develop things in the gym. The trainers were more hands-on. They were not cheerleaders like you're seeing today, or guys with towels draped over their shoulders who can slap pads with you and you hitting on pads in the dressing room with these flashy combinations and everything. Bruce Lee had a thing he would say where he would say, you know, that's like swimming on dry land, hitting those pads and all of that with those rapid fire sequences. Who the hell is going to stand in the middle of the ring and let you throw all those shots at them like that? All the person got to do is step out of the way when you throw your first punch, and you got to reset and get started all over again, or watch and anticipate a counter coming back at you. So why are you doing that foolishness? You know, James Toney used to say, his trainers and coaches would say, when a guy walk into the gym, there go a bag beater right there, meaning that a guy is hellified on the bag, right? Throwing murderous punches with bad intentions on a bag. Okay, but when he get in the ring to spar, he barely let his hands go, and his coach got to yell at him, throw the shot, the opening is there. Why do you think that is? There's a disconnect between what's happened mentally and the lack of teaching that goes on with you physically. There has to be a connection there, and if you don't have that, where it's taught and it's learned in the gym, you're not going to develop it overnight when you get in the ring to fight somebody. So these fighters of today, one of the reasons that they're afraid to go out there and put it on the line is because they understand they're not fully equipped. Their toolbox is halfway empty or is not anywhere near full. So when they're fighting like that, they already know they're fighting at a disadvantage. And the guy across from him, facing him, might have a little more than he has. All that tells you is you got to get your ass back in the gym, get your training acumen up, and get some people around you who know what the hell they're doing. Because when you get matched up, yeah, it looks good when you're knocking everybody out. But match me up against a style that's going to give me some difficulty, where I can learn on the fly of the experience. I'm in the ring facing a guy I might have to chase down and cut the ring off, a guy who's going to chase me down and cut the ring off on me. A guy who's going to hold and maul me, pull me in things and push and press. A guy who's going to run, you know, a guy who can hit a little bit, you know, a guy who could take a hit. These are the type of matchups that you have. Your trainer, he gets you prepared for these different types of styles, and you can grow. I'd rather have a fighter that's 18-0 with 4 or 5 knockouts than a guy that's 18-0 with 17 knockouts. Because in those 17 knockouts, he probably haven't learned a lot. You understand?
Yeah.
So, yeah, technically, do they have as much today as they did yesteryear? No, they don't. And that time frame is not that far removed. Yesteryear can only go back to maybe the late 90s, because it seems like that's a cutoff point for the teaching in boxing. Because look at who was the last great fighter coming from the 90s to today. It's Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Okay, cool. Kirk, you there? Sugar, you there?
Yes.
Okay. Question is, do you think the boxing of yesteryear has better fundamentals than the boxers today?
Yeah, because they were more dedicated. You know, the trainers were better. They would just cut from a different cloth. It had nothing to do with in the ring. They were men outside the ring, and then just transcended in the boxing ring. You know, they had a lot more grit, determination, and they were more willing to learn. They weren't, you know, I'm supposed to be a man. They were men. You know, they would have most of them had full-time jobs, then go train, and then took time out to learn every aspect of the sport. You know, Charlie Burley was a garbage man, you know, and stuff like that, and worked as a mechanic in an airplane. You know, he was a great fighter, one of the black murderers wrote.
Right.
You know, and they was built. They knew more. They just knew more. They you know, and like Stormy said, Mayweather was the last great one, special fighter. You ain't gonna see that for a while. because they ain't built like that, you know. And fighters of yesteryear, man, they took better punches, they threw better combinations, they went to the body, they utilized the jab, they worked on footwork. When you see somebody like a Jersey Joe Walcott, he was a stylist.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't see fighters like that anymore, man. It's I don't call it old school, I call it true school.
Yeah. James J, mute your mic. Too much noise in the background. Mute your mic, James J.
I'm sorry, hey, sorry about that, but I'm gonna tell you this, man. I'm gonna tell you this. You know, the technology. I'm gonna tell you this, man. You know, you can go on YouTube and look at the fights more than you do if you committed to a boxing. If you committed to a boxing, you can watch on VSX or VHS or DVD. You got YouTube and others. You got YouTube and others they can watch classic fights like that. You know what I'm saying? Sorry about that, Mr. JT.
Okay, no problem. No problem. No problem. Now I heard about Stormy B, man, that you like music. You love music, don't you?
That is correct, sir.
That's right. Now we're going to get into music a little bit. This is going to be the last thing, and after that, I'm going to tell y'all more about the fellowship live that Kirk he been on it, James ain't been on it, but I'm gonna tell you about it in a few minutes. Now, what's your favorite artist, man and woman?
Man and woman. Well, I have to say my favorite male artist would probably be Marvin Gaye.
Okay.
My favorite female artist is kind of a toss-up between I like Angela Bofield and I like Anita Baker. But with the female artists, it really comes down to what they're singing about.
Right.
And with the male artists, Marvin Gaye was just I mean, anytime I hear a Marvin Gaye song come on the radio, I listen to it all the way through. You know, it's like there's some artists you could hear and I'm a little tired of this person, I'll change, you know. But whenever I hear something by Marvin Gaye, I never change the station or never look. I'll listen to it all the way through.
Wow. Okay, I hear that. The Sugar, same question, please.
Damn, Stormy, that's my favorite artist, male, man. Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, can't go wrong there.
Man, I tell you, man, his albums, because he went from a crooner to a conscious singer.
Yeah.
To a composer.
Yeah.
You know, what's going on? You know, that's not my favorite album. That album get the most pub, but you know, I Want You album and Trouble Man soundtrack to the movie. Yeah. You know, he's my favorite. My other artists, I'm just gonna go real quick, is Lonnie Liston Smith and Donald Byrd. You know, there's a song called Cristo Redentor. You know, it's one of my favorite songs. And female, probably Phyllis Hyman,
yeah,
Minnie Riperton, and Angela Bofield. Those are my top three. And my favorite groups are Stylistics, Earth, Wind, and Fire, and Chic.
Okay, cool. Now, Stormy B, I got to get back to you because he named groups. What's your groups? Then we hit James J.
My groups. Oh, man. The Isley Brothers, Earth, Wind, and Fire. I want to say the Ohio Players, the Gap Band. I just, you know what? I like the groups that had talented musicians, you know, that everybody could play something. You know what I mean? Everybody could play an instrument or whatever. So that always did it for me because that's where you find the real soul music. And a lot of those musicians were self-taught, man. They didn't go to school for that or anything. Those guys got together and jammed in garages and everything, and then started going out on the streets and playing, you know? So yeah, that's kind of like who I like. Those kind of groups like that.
Okay, cool.
If you want to talk about older groups too, like Blue Magic and Stylistics, you know, the Shy Lights, you know, all of that, man, you can't go wrong.
Oh yeah, you can go. All right, we can do that. Yeah. JMJ, famous artists, man, women, and group. Then
Man,
I last.
I'm gonna tell you this, man. I'm gonna tell you this, man. It don't matter what groups it is, 60s, 70s, 80s. If it was fat to me, I'll put it on my playlist on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I can listen to the Temptations with Dennis Edwards. You know what I'm saying? Runaway Child, Running Wild. You know what I'm saying? Or listen to a Janet Jackson. Or with the doggone It's All Right With Me.
Hey, hold on one JMJ, I just want to say this to Underrated Darkness. You got a person in the chat that's acting up there, man. You might want to take a moment while we're talking and take attention on that.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, JMJ.
I can listen to a doggone you know, Four Tops or something like that. I like music all around, man. Not this new stuff, man. If it's currently good, you know what I'm saying. I'm getting tired of this trap music. You know what I'm saying. They be having the same beats. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. You can listen Lisa and Coach Jam, and rest in peace to my stepsister. You can listen to When I Take You Home or something with Lisa and Coach Jam, or you can listen to a Slave. I hate the name what they said, and listen to Snapshot. You know what I'm saying, or James Brown with doggone with the Bad album. You know what I'm saying. I'm just kind of all around with the music stuff back in the days. And they say, you don't know about that. You gonna know something because of this current music we hearing now. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm saying I can listen to an Emile LaRue from Groove Theory. You know what I'm saying? I'm just all around with the music stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? When I go ride or something, driving like that, I want to listen to everything, even rock and roll and all that other stuff, man. So other than that, man, I'm just all around with it. You know what I'm saying? You can listen to Patrice Russell, Feel So Real. You know what I'm saying? Or doggone, let's see, what else? Like you said, Angela Bofield. You know what I'm saying? And I wish they had old school Soul Train joints too. You know what I'm saying? So they like the stylists and all that other stuff, man. The Emotions. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just all around with it. I'm a particular artist in other ways, man. But I just like and even with hip hop, you know what I'm saying? With the doggone you know, I can listen to JVC Band. You know what I'm saying? You remember the JVC Band, Mr. Kurt? JVC Band, it's Strong Island or something like that. Just like you, Mr. Underrated. You know what I'm saying? I just like to listen to all around stuff, man.
Yo, what you know about JVC Force, bro? What you know about that, boy?
I play this, man. I'm 42 years old, man.
What? When JVC Force, man, Strong Island, yeah. Yeah, definitely JVC Force, yeah. Hey, you surprised me, man.
Yeah, man. To the full forces, to the doggone whatever music, man. Just like the '80s, back in the days, hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And remember this group called Whistle. There was a song called Whistle. Wibby Buggy. Remember that joint?
What's the group?
Whistle.
Oh yeah, that's old school.
Yeah, man.
We only bugging. Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Man, I'm just all around with this hip hop and R&B stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? And just like Story B, man, said, it's in the both here. I can listen to Anita Baker if I really, really wanted to, bruh. Anita Baker was my girl now. You know what I'm saying? Whitney Houston was some of hers. You know? I just like listen to every music that's in a positive range. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The slow songs, you know, too. You know what I'm saying? And doggone, what else? You know, full force before before they before they became Kid and Play bullies. Before they became Kid and Play bullies, man. They used to have some with Lisa and Coach Jam. You know what I'm saying? I'm just all around with the stuff, man, and hip hop too. You know what I'm saying? Nice and smooth. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Oh, that's what's up, man.
You know what I'm saying? That's why sometimes I like you with you and Underrated and all the others, Cali and Town and when it came to the West Coast, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that was in the West Coast though, but you know I like the smooth music like Impromptu or something like that. You remember Impromptu, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Stormy man, type something in the chat right now. I want to see stuff.
Yeah, Impromptu or something like that. You know what I'm saying? When they was doing that back in the days, Kenny Lattimore. Oh, they do some unsung joints on TV1. You know.
All right, Stormy.
Right.
Stormy, I'll just make you a mod. We can get him out.
Okay, cool. There's a young man that's in your chat, and he's a mod on a lot of our channels. You might want to consider him too. That's Hyphy. Hyphy is a good dude, man, and he'll keep his eye on all of that mess for you.
Yeah, I
So
understand that. No, but he what I'm saying that like I ain't saying you hyphy man like that, but I had people in the past that I gave renters to, and they only come like once in a while.
Yeah, but he's definitely one who will watch the chat for you and keep that mess out. And you know, that's I don't just say that, you know, like just that's, but he that's what he does, and he good at it. Because I didn't know until I took a look at the chat and I saw it start running away with that foolishness, you know, and I didn't want to detract from your show, but it was starting to accumulate. So that's why I brought it to your attention.
I got you.
Okay.
Yeah, hyphy man, right. You know what?
And I'm gonna tell you another thing too. I'm gonna tell you another thing. There was the Hathaways too.
Hyphy, type something in the chat. Hyphy, type something in the chat.
Okay, then. Y'all good?
No, hold on. No, because I need mine because.
Okay, sorry about that. It's your channel, bro.
Yeah, no. We're gonna continue because. Yeah, because all the Monique Hill, all the mods is left, and all this stuff is really have. Okay. Now that's all right, Hyphy, because I you need help because they come back. Yo, go ahead. Thanks, Stormy, man. Good looking at Hyphy.
All right, man. You know Donny Hathaway. You know what I'm saying? The only song I know about is Roberta Flack back together again. Then she got a daughter. Her name is Layla Hathaway. I've been listening to her sometimes. You know what I'm saying? My uncle, and sometimes my uncle be killing me with the joints. He be killing me with, man. Well, I be sitting out there drinking beers or something like that. And he just bring that stuff out, you know, to the Sante Moors and all them. You know what I'm saying? That's why I kind of, it's a certain type you got to listen to. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be album wise. It could be doggone song wise too. You know what I'm saying? So other than that, man, you know what I'm saying? So other than that, man, I'm proud of y'all brothers. To the Underrated, to the Stormy B Mans, to the Kurt Sugars, man, to the trap houses too, man. The LDBC up in the joint, you know what I'm saying? So I'm proud of all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Doing YouTube videos, man.
Yeah.
Kurt, why you ain't doing no videos for yourself, man?
What happened now?
So I said, why you don't do no videos, man? Because you a historian. You be blood boxing in them. You be cool breezing with that, man. You be kicking that knowledge.
Thanks a lot, man. I got a channel. It's on the World Breaker though, but I'm gonna have my own separate channel. Just give me a minute. I'm trying to get my health in order. But I have a show called Kurt Sugar versus the World. I'm gonna start doing it on a consistent basis. Then I'm gonna have my own channel.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Now on Stormy Man, I'm gonna tell you about. I on my channel. I do different things. I do music, as Kurt tell you. I talk about politics. I do series and stuff. And now tonight I do fellowshipping. Now I'm gonna explain this why. Because I remember we used to eat, we used to sit with the family, we used to talk and conversate. So that's part of my thing. I bring it back. So I'm not cooking tonight, but usually I cook, I show my food, I hand select people that I want to get on the panel, and we just chop it up and everything, having conversation. Kurt be on some too. And after that I ask people, give me some ones you want to show my food. And then after that, I show my food. And I show my food like maybe 3-4 times after that. And then sometimes I have dessert, sometimes I don't have dessert. So usually maybe 35 minutes, maybe a little over an hour after that, I ask some more people, it's like a game like. So I said, who wants to? I said, you want to see my dessert? I said, give me 5 ones. So after they give me 5 ones, I show them the dessert, and we keep on going. We keep on going, conversating and stuff. So that's what I do.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Only thing is, if I ain't got nothing to eat over here, you're gonna make me hungry, man. Then I'm gonna be mad because your stuff is over there all cooked and decked out.
Well, you ain't gonna worry about, because I'm gonna have me Sam. I'm gonna have. I went to Wild. I mean, I went to 7-Eleven, so I'm gonna have me sandwich and a salad and some soda tonight. So but I'm gonna make some dessert. Dessert gonna be basic anyway. So, but don't worry about it. But you're welcome back and everything, and we're gonna be in a few minutes. So but y'all also welcome to the fellowship live too. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
I want you to come back. So I said about between 7:30 and 8 o'clock I will have it. But my all right. My favorite. Oh my God! Y'all took the ones from me. So I gotta pick a favorite besides Marvin Gaye. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say BB King.
Yeah, blues singer. Yeah.
I'm gonna say BB King. My favorite singer. That's a lot. So let me pick one. I'm gonna keep it old school. Billie Holiday. The group. Now I'm gonna say now I'm gonna be biased. The groups I would say the Philly sound.
About OJ, something like that, huh? I ain't OJ from Philly.
Yeah, that's what I said about. And Hyphen and Stormy, man, thank you. Good, thanks for good looking out. Get them trolls out. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, because sometimes those guys they come in with that kind of stuff just to help get your channel shut down, you know. So that's why you got to be on top of your mods to keep an eye out for that mess.
Yeah, no, I thought I had some. I thought I had some mods in the chat. Yeah, I guess they all left. So, yeah, thank you.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. That's how we have to have each other's back, you know. When that kind of stuff there, we see it, we try to jump on it right away.
yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, oh, go, Curry. Anything you want to say? You go say something.
Oh, we closing it out.
No, not yet. We gonna go back. Matter of fact, it'd be bad close it out. So, Stormy, matter of fact, James J, last remarks, Stormy Man, last remarks, and Sugar, last remarks.
Shout out to I'm telling you this, shout out to the LDBC Underground to be in the chat, that being mods, you know what I'm saying? And others, man. Shout out to y'all for bringing me on back in again, you know, to the Kurtz, to the trap houses, to the Stormy B Mans, and to the Underrated Darkness, man. Salute to y'all, and y'all keep up the good work, man. All right, y'all have a good one now.
All
You
right.
too, my brother.
Thank you.
Yes,
All right.
indeed.
All right, Stormy Man, last remarks, please.
First of all, I want to say shout out to the LDBC and shout out to you, Underrated Darkness, for what you're doing and having me on today to chop it up with you and your panel. Much respect. Like I said, I'm subscribed to you, so I'll get notifications when you got stuff going on. And if you don't see me, it don't mean that I'm not supporting you, because every once in a while I'll pop in and say something in your chats and stuff like that. But I'm trying to get myself going too as well. So
No, don't worry about it. I got you.
yeah. But I just want to say this was a nice stream. We had a chance to really talk about some technical things with boxing, and that's my forte. And just being able to hear what everyone else has to say and share, I enjoy that as well. So anytime you need another person out there, and as another ear or a line of support, don't hesitate. Drop me a message, and I'll come and support you. It's not a problem at all. So. Thanks for having me, and I appreciate everything you're doing, man.
And I just want to say one thing for Kirk, and me and Kirk talk about you all the time, and I always want to, get you on the panel, and then wherever you need support too, you let me know. I get on the panel with you. As you already know, I know a little boxing too. You know what I mean? Don't tell nobody, don't, but I know a little something. Yeah, but so I got you.
All right, that's good. That's all good.
Yeah, exactly. The Sugar.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, I haven't been on in a while. I've just been busy, with my wife and all that, the business and all that, and, health. But, I haven't been as consistent, but, I always support you. You got a good channel, man. Keep up the good work. Never get discouraged or whatever. We all have knowledge in our own way, and just, thanks James J, and of course Stormy B, man, my brother, and you, my brother, Underrated Darkness, and who else? Damn, I forgot who else is on
Trap
there.
House Box.
That's right. Yeah, Trap, thanks for coming through, like always, man. OGs, and like I always say, same bad time, same bad channel.
All right, and I'm gonna stay right there. I'm gonna send my last remarks. I want to thank Traps Hot Boxing, JMJ, the Sugar, and Stormy, man. Y'all make y'all make this great. You make this as a great stream. and I really appreciate it. And I'm gonna start doing more, talk about boxing and stuff. You know, I'm gonna start doing it. So watch out for that and everything. Like I said, family, between 7:30 or 8 o'clock, I will have a fellowship. I will have a fellowship live, but I will not. I'm not cooking tonight. I'm just gonna have a sandwich and some salad and a little soda stuff. I will make a dessert in a few. So, but I'm not gonna send no invites out. So y'all gotta watch out. You gotta watch out for the bell, the normalizations, and all that. All right, and H and hyphen, thank you so much. Appreciate that, y'all. The ones who came in late, you can always catch it on the rewind. Shout out to the LDBC Lions Den boxing community, also basketball community. We not just talk about boxing, we talk about other things, and we do serve our community. So on that note, between 7:30, 8 o'clock, I will be back on the fellowship. Give me some time to set it up on this one. Thanks, brothers. But on this one is Ghost.